come at things from the spiritual side and get confirmation of what I experience, hopefully, by using science and technology. Because I feel like I can't present what I get from an investigation without having backup. Because it's just wrong. I can't tell someone, well, I feel like your Aunt Jane, you do have one, right, is living in this house with you, blah, 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 blah. And I need something else that's going to be substantial for them. And you work from the science side of going with Aunt Jane, not necessarily being there, but trying to ascertain if there actually is something happening. And then you might decide it's Aunt Jane.
Right. As long as it's truly Aunt Jane and not the fish tank.
I think that's going to be awesome.
Yes. That
I think the fish tank is hilarious, to be quite honest.
Yes. And the sad thing is there are 3 paranormal teams before we went out there that had went out there and none of them just thought to check. Hey, what about the resonant frequencies and sounds that are here?
How many people do you know that carry that equipment with them? In honesty.
It's very few.
Right.
And it's even more disheartening when I say, when I mention something about infrasound, how many paranormal investigators that have been doing it for a long time go, what is that?
I know. It's just,
it
blows my mind too.
And, the thing that, it's like we were talking about before, the results of your investigation are always going to be directly correlated to your comprehension of the world around you, how things work, so that you can recognize when something is outside the ordinary or when something's just a little strange. And we have to do that as if, and I think that is a huge holdup that we see in the paranormal field. Is when people try to mimic what they see on TV, when they try to go about things from that angle, or they go to the side of superstition or mythology and don't really try to put a logical approach to it. If a TV crew comes out there, who are they going to point a camera at? The guy that's over there working on the math problem, or the clown in the corner juggling chainsaws? I mean,
I find it to be the chainsaws.
Right. That, if it involves any kind of TV media publisher or whatever, they're going for entertainment value. And
or a way to mock the science because they don't want to admit that there is a scientific method to test these theories.
Absolutely. And they, as a paranormal investigator, you need to immerse yourself in learning about physical science, biology, about how things work and how it can go awry, so that when you do investigate somewhere, you truly do have answers. And whether those answers are logically explainable or if they're truly paranormal. And it makes you more confident in your findings.
Absolutely it does, because I can't stand feeling like I'm missing something, which is when our conversations after an investigation go so long. Because I saw something or experienced something I didn't get, didn't understand. And you have to be willing to say, you know what, I'm just missing this. I don't understand this.
Well, you have to invest in reading, learning, educating yourself as much as you can. Your paranormal investigations are just like your diet, your exercise routine, your job, your anything that you own, your bank account. You can't expect to get more out of it than you're willing to put into it.
You're
When
right.
you when you educate yourself, when you truly research and learn what can happen and do those case studies, and the more you prepare yourself for investigations, you're making an investment into the quality of your research and the quality of your investigation that will return with a greater quantity directly correlated to the quantity of research you put into it. The same as, you work on you exercise harder, you're going to be in better shape. You diet harder, you're going to lose more weight. It's the same principle no matter what. If you save more, you're going to make more interest and have more money at the end of the year. That's, um, that it's just that simple. That rule of thumb applies to anything, but absolutely paranormal investigation as well.
This has been one of everything in total. This has been one of my favorite shows that we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so very glad that you're here, because that statement that you just made is probably the most important part of this interview or this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. You do. I mean, well, it's the same as, how many people do you know making six figures a year don't, how many people do you see that make that much money from after dropping out of high school, or no education after they graduated high school? I mean, granted, yes, there are people out there, but how many? It's very rare. Usually people, before they get into the higher paying jobs, have to have a specialized skill that they educated themselves on for years, studied really hard to learn that skill or master that trade. And then after investing all that time and effort and research into it, 8-10 years down the road, they start really receiving a big payoff for it. And it's the same with anything.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's the people that don't put the work into it and think that they're going to have all this notoriety and seek to become the next big thing in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a community.
It is.
It's something that matters. Integrity matters, knowledge matters, work ethic matters, and honesty. Character always counts. And you have all of those. And I appreciate you. You do a great job at everything that I've seen you do relevant to our work. And I think that you really are one of the great unsung heroes kind of a thing with what you do. And a lot of that is where we are, I think, to a degree. But it's because you really are so busy doing the work that you're not out there tooting your own horn. You're just doing the research and the work and living your life and being frank. So I appreciate everything that you put into that, and I appreciate you sharing it with me and with all of our listeners tonight, because it's a good thing. It's a great thing.
Well, I absolutely appreciate that. That I tell people all the time, if you're looking to get famous, to get rich or whatever, you don't need to be in the paranormal. you might find some fame there, but it's probably not going to be for what you want,
Oh
want
no.
it to be for. but, but you,
And that's funny.
especially out with the anticipation of, getting rich or getting put on TV or whatever, yeah, it's like, no, no,
Well,
just don't.
I I I don't now, but I have I have investigated with a person who all he wanted was to be on television, was to get a
Right.
show. And
Yeah.
it was so frustrating trying to accomplish things that it was pull your hair out kind of a thing. But
Hmm.
I don't work with them anymore. It was a
Right.
good decision.
Yes.
So, that being said, we are going to have to just, fade on out of here. And do you want to do another segment? Are you good? Are you ready to go?
Oh, I'm always up for hanging in there with you, chatting. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what we'll do, because I do feel like people might want to hear a little bit more of you. We're going to end this, and while I'm doing my editing, we will go ahead and continue with a few more minutes on a separate broadcast. So,
Okay.
thank y'all very much. I'm just so glad that y'all are here. I appreciate every person who listens. Y'all are the reason that I work so hard, and your patience is so appreciated, because I know y'all have had it with that. I mean, with the patience. Thanks. We will be back next week. Same cat time, same cat channel with Fate Radio. And Monday night will be Denise Pridemore with the Paranormal Pride. Wednesday night will be myself hosting Paranormal Experienced Radio. And on Friday will be a new episode of Ghost Talk with 187 PI, and that will be Shelley Robertson and her team. We will talk to y'all then, and thanks again. We appreciate you. Y'all take care now. Good night.
Have a good night.